How I unraveled hidden assets. I remember to this day how this client walked into my office in her 30s, pale face, very distraught by the process. Her husband already filed for divorce, already filed for default against her, already got almost the divorce. Not almost. She brought the divorce paperwork. And then she goes to tell me her story. She says he had a business for $5 million that he sold to his best buddy for $50,000. He decided to kick her out of the home because when he was traveling in hidden camera, he noticed she didn't come home. Never mind that he was cheating all the time and he had 2 kids from different women while they were married for almost 10 years. And when he saw that she didn't come home, he kicked her out, took their 7-year-old son, some boyfriend. He filed for divorce, got the default. And it turns out they had a prenup. Pretty bad one. No disclosures. Everything is his. No spousal support. So she had a separate case with a different attorney, pro bono attorney for child support and custody. So that was not my subject. My subject was, what do I do with this prenup? I know this guy's hiding assets because it's impossible that he would sell $5 million business for $50,000 to his buddy in a different country. And she didn't have money. So it was at the beginning of my career where I decided to help her on a deferred payment plan. Don't do it. Don't ask me for it. It was one in all times. And I really felt for her. So I created this book to help you understand the divorce process without getting lost or without getting a heart attack. You can buy it on Amazon in all formats, including audio format. Case. What I did, I filed to set aside the prenup, immediately pending trial for setting aside the prenup for spousal support and attorney's fees. And I got attorney's fees award for $25,000 and for $4,500 for spousal support. And the trial was set for a future date. Of course, he's not paying. He says, I have no money. See my preliminary declaration of disclosures? I only have $4,000 left in my bank account. I get from this guy who I sold my business $2,500 a month. So I called my buddy and I said, hey, this guy seems to make us believe that he sold his business and he's no longer working in this business. So his buddy is working in his business and his buddy is paying him the money for selling the business. So let's just call this guy. Let's just call him. So my buddy calls him and asks for his services. So he had a company with, let's say, security service or something like that. So he calls him up and he says, I need this security service. I need to speak to this particular guy. So he says his name. And then sure enough, he gets transferred. So red flag, he was lying. It was pretty obvious, but I needed proof. So I asked my buddy to write a declaration under penalty of perjury about what happened. And then as time goes on, spousal support and attorney's fees are not being paid, I'm filing motion for contempt. Motion for contempt is quasi-criminal, can be each count for each month of not payment up to 5 days in jail. And then, how do I find out hidden assets? There are many ways to find out hidden assets. And I chose to go 2 ways. Either draft subpoena to different banks to see if any of them will respond and suddenly send me bank statements with money. The problem with that is the moment I send subpoenas to banks, like 5, let's say 10 banks that most people bank at, that he will get notification. So the moment he gets notification, guess what? He will transfer the money away and say, oh, this was probably a loan that I needed to return to my buddy. Never mind that I forgot to, if I had $100,000 in that bank account now, by the time I get the bank statements, the money's going to be gone. So I decided not to go this route. I had to go the route that would not notify him. Private investigator. So we hire a private investigator. Well, I hired private investigator, paid private investigator, and it comes out with a report that he has money in one of American banks with $500,000 in it that he didn't disclose in his name. This is a definition of fiduciary duty violation, Rossi case, ROSSI case of appeal, where it says if you don't disclose, even if it's a separate property, I can ask for 100% of the money to be my client's money. So, and then I'm starting to think, okay, what to do? There are many options. Option number one, I ask the court to transfer all the money to her based on Rossi case. Number two, alternatively, half of the money. But I cannot do that because we still have the trial for the prenup. So if the prenup stands, which I know for a fact it wouldn't because she didn't have a lawyer, there was no disclosures, so it was just, prolonging. So the court would not let my client have all this money because of the trial pending for the prenup to set aside. And so the choice is narrowed down to one. It has to be fast, immediate, and he should lose control over this money. So what I did, I filed an ex parte requesting to freeze this bank account. And we froze it. So now how fast do you think this case settled after this? Within a week. This case was, he was busted. He thought he's the smartest guy in the world. He wasn't. So we settled this case. She got a really hefty settlement. I got paid. She got paid. She was so happy she wanted to become a lawyer, although she was in a career that was more artistic. So it was a big compliment. And that's how this went and how I resolved this case. Pretty interesting, right? Anyway, I hope you liked it, enjoyed listening, and I'll see you soon. Bye!